Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Walking Through Glass, the podcast with your host, Dr. Dina C. Brown. All right, it's time for us to get on the road on this morning. It is a Wake Up Wednesday, what I love to also call our Wisdom Wednesday. And today, your daily dose of vitamin Dr. D is still all about courage. And today's courage focus is the courage to believe. The courage to not only believe in yourself, but the courage to believe in all that God's promised you is going to come to pass. And for me, this is a really, really rough time right now because I'm in the midst of transition. I'm in the midst of some changes. I put it this way. I'm in the midst of knowing where I want to go and understanding where I have to be. So, what does that mean? What does that look like? And how does that courage to believe impact that? The courage to believe is really about two things. It's about trust and it's about faith. It's about trusting, that again, all things that belongs to you shall come to you and will show up for you. And the faith part is not really knowing the how, so to speak, or the when, but just trusting that if I continue to move according to plan in alignment with my purpose and follow my ordered steps, that it will materialize. Well, that is hard for someone like me. It is extremely hard because I like to plan. I like to know. I get anxious and have high anxiety when I don't quite get and know all of the pieces. I am that person, and I'm going to tell you, I don't know if there's anybody else out there like me. I am that person that when I was reading like mystery novels and certain thrillers, and even different books, I would go and read the last chapter just so that I had an understanding of where they were going, right? And then I would go back and I'd still read the whole book and I would still, get all excited. But I felt comforted in knowing that I knew how the story was going to end. I felt so comforted that I knew how the story was going to end. Well, that doesn't work in life. That doesn't even work in leadership. And trust me, part of walking through this class is the anxiety, the depression, the limiting beliefs, all of those concerns that are part of my program are worse than when I don't have a clue or idea what's coming. You see, my other favorite story is that when I found out I was pregnant with Xavier, I just began to read everything that I could, and I looked at all the science. I even calculated the fact that they said it takes newborn babies use X amount of diapers. And so I did the math, and so over the course of months, this is prior to him being born, I bought X amount of diapers for every level because I wanted to be prepared. And at that time, financially, I was also concerned about, okay, now I'm responsible for this new life. So what am I going to do to make sure that I'm prepared, right? And that, anything and everything that I need to have for him, I can provide. So again, I stretched out, I planned, I calculated everything down to the estimation of if you breastfed, how much food you needed, and had money put away. I had money put away in an account. I had money put away in envelopes for emergency contingency funds. So my contingency plan had a contingency plan. And when I look at my life now and I fast forward where my life is filled with so much uncertainty, now I understand why yesterday I had to have 2 massages. I had to have 2 60-minute massages, and yet my neck is still bunch. I'm still feeling a lot of pain. And what I truly understood this morning when I still woke up with this pinched, inflamed nerve pain was that I'm part of the problem. Because I can say I trust God. I can say I believe in my dream. I can say all of these things, but if my belief system and my thought process and my subconscious is not in agreement, then my body, it manifests itself in my body. And so what I'm working on now, because like I told you, I'm still in pain. So this particular episode resonates on more than one level, is the fact that this pain is more mental than it probably is physical. And as I tried to even do my meditation, I had all of these dust bunnies coming through during that time. Because when life gets topsy-turvy, we often go back to what's comfortable. And that's when our belief system, our faith, is truly put to the test. And I've been on this journey, and I sometimes go like, God, are you like punking me? Or what's really going on? Why me? Why am I having to deal with all these different issues and things? And, aren't I a good person? Don't I pay my tithes? Don't I give? Don't I love my child? Don't I, support nonprofits? And it's about growing me and stretching me to be able to receive the complete largesse. And if I can't trust and believe about the little things, and what God has really said to me and spoken it to me is that right now it might seem big to me, but for Him it's a little thing. And until I can get clear, confident, and consistent about the little things, then me being able to process and purposely execute on the big things are in question. Whew, that was a wake-up call. And so it's not easy. I'm not saying I'm there yet. I'm saying that there's purpose in my pain. There's purpose in my pain physically and literally. Is that I know that if I don't start truly, honestly, trusting and believing far beyond a superficial level in all God's promises and any and everything that I have been called to manifest and actuate, then it's going to be painful. This part of my journey is going to be painful. So I began to ask myself these questions last night, and I didn't even sleep as well as I should have. Because when I say there's a lot of things going on in my head, and there's a lot of things that I know that I need to make some decisions about. You see, usually this sense of unrest and this validity comes when there's some big questions in your life. There's some big decisions you have to make. There's some leaps that you have to do. And for me, it's much more difficult than I thought, because it's not just me. You see, I made some promises when I became a mom that I was going to make sure that I took care of what God entrusted me with. This amazing little boy has one more year to graduate. So when I choose to take a leap or a jump, I'm not just impacting my life, I'm impacting his life. I am putting him in some situations as his guardian, as the one God's entrusted to take care of him on this earth. And that's the hard part. So it's not me. It's not whether I can survive or thrive, because I can do that off of very little. It's how is this going to impact one of my greatest blessings. So, what's next? What do I do? How do I begin to pull that little shard of glass out of all of the pieces of my body that it's pricking? Is that making a decision to give myself the time needed to really process and plan, which is part of my programming and personality, but also adding in the positive, affirming belief and understanding that God's got me, and He wouldn't have put it in me if He didn't expect me to birth it. And to let go of the fear of how it will be birthed and just execute one day at a time with the tools that I have by being present. And by being present, it allows me to be open to the opportunities as they present themselves. And if I'm really, really honest, as I was sitting here, having a talk last night, with God, and I said, God, if I'm really, really honest, the problem is not me having problems and getting frustrated with what I'm called to do. It's in the interim, the things that I'm doing because what I feel like I need to do to manifest what I'm called to do. Does that make sense? So there's purpose in my pain, okay? And understanding that I'm causing it because some of the choices that I'm making is completely out of alignment in what I'm called to do. Because for me, there's so much ambiguity right now in what I'm called to do, and not knowing all the pieces and the hows and the what fors and the and what the letters are make that I'm resistant. And that part of resistance is change and conflict and consciousness. Because as I make those unconscious beliefs conscious, which is what I get a chance to do each and every time I get to come on and speak to you on Walking Through Glass, the podcast, and share with you your daily dose of vitamin Dr. D. I tell you guys, I'm talking to me. This is how I work through it. I get the question all the time, Dina, how do you blank? Well, honey, this is how I do it. I talk to myself. I talk to God. I pray about it. I angst about it even, Yes, I still stress about it. But as I work through it, because it's a process, that's the only way that you're going to get resolution. You have to have the courage to trust and believe. The courage to trust and believe. And when you begin to build that courage, that muscle, then what also is in effect is that you increase your faith credit score. When you increase your faith credit score, what you then put into play is your ability to receive at a far greater level. The same way our credit works with the 3 bureaus, it's magnified when we're talking about the Holy Trinity. Is that when we truly trust and believe down to a cellular level, okay? Because when we talk about our belief systems, it goes down to a cellular level. And I'm going to tell you how I know it's true because of the pain and the inflammation in my neck and in my muscles in my target zones right now. But guess what? Guess what? I'm making a decision today, this Wake Up Wednesday, to process it one piece at a time, because I can't ignore it, but to start to do the inner work on my trust and belief systems. Working on that intentionally is going to help support me to get to the next space. And I want to invite you to work on it with me. I am doing a 14-day study on As a Man Thinketh by James Allen, which really truly gets at the root of our belief systems, our trust systems, our faith systems, our understandings of who we are. If you are interested in participating, if you are interested in joining me, then definitely, and you're hearing this, please send me a message. You can send it to Dr. Dina at drdinaspeaks.com. You can respond in the comments on any platform, because Walking Through Glass, the podcast, is available on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, Google Music Play, and of course our host Podbean. You reach out to me. I am going to post it on my Instagram at Dr. Dina Speaks and at Walking Through Glass, the podcast, because not only do I need this in-depth study again, I have a firm belief that many of you probably need it too. So join me on this journey to not only embrace the journey, but to up-level our thoughts and our belief systems so that we're able to really trust down to a cellular level, so that we're not dealing with all the aches and the pains and all the frustrations that we are currently processing through our life, that we get to deal with it in a much better place, so that we truly can live our life with purpose, on purpose. And that's really what Walking Through the Glass is all about. It's not only embracing the journey, but really learning to love ourselves on purpose, with purpose, and unapologetically. So I would love for you to join me in my study of As a Man Thinketh. And when we go through that journey together, I guarantee you're going to uncover a whole new level of understanding about yourself. Your thoughts, your beliefs, your ability to trust is going to be increased exponentially, because the first person it has to start with is you. The first person it has to start with is you. So that's what I have for you today on this Wake Up Wednesday. Thank you for walking through the glass with me. Thank you for joining in and having your daily dose of vitamin Dr. D. And I truly, truly appreciate you and encourage you to share. Share this with someone that needs this. Someone who's struggling right now, like me, with their faith credit score. It's a struggle. It's a battle. But guess what? You don't have to do it alone. So that's what I got for you today. Hope you have a phenomenal Wednesday and that you continue to wake up and be awesome. Bye-bye.